here with me to enjoy a little bit of time with me. I'm Dr. Susan with Play and Learn. And today, I kind of thought it would be kind of fun to do some painting. So we're going to paint today. And the purpose of the paint has to do with the colors that we're going to be using. The book I'm reading with you today is called One, and the author of the book is Catherine Ochi, and it's just a really fun, quick book, but it has some really important points in it. And if you have any favorite colors that you really like, and you have some paper and some crayons or markers, whichever one you like, if you want to go grab them, you can do the project with me. I'm doing it with paint, but you can do it with crayons and markers. And the colors you're going to need is green, purple, orange, yellow, blue, and red. Those are the colors that you would need if you want to participate and do the project with me this morning. If not, you can always go back to it a little bit later. And it doesn't have to be done in this format. If you have another idea, I love it when everybody uses their own creativity to create something different than what I demonstrate or show, because that comes out of my creativity. And it would be great for you to express your own. So this is just a sample, and you can do with it as you choose and make it your very own. So let's take a look at the story. All right. So here's our story, and it is called One. Pay attention to the little blue circle. Blue was a quiet color. Yeah, it's not making any noise, is it? Very quiet. He enjoyed looking up at the sky, floating on the waves, and on days he felt daring, splashing in rain puddles. Every once in a while, he wished he could be more sunny like yellow, or bright like green, more regal like purple, or outgoing like orange. But overall, he liked being blue, except when he was with Red. Red was a hothead. He liked to pick on Blue. Geez, even bigger than Blue. Red is a great color, he'd say. Red is hot, Blue is not. Then Blue would feel bad about being blue. Sometimes Yellow comforted Blue. Blue is a very nice color, she'd say, but Yellow never said that in front of Red. She never said, stop picking on Blue. Green, purple, and orange thought Blue was nice too, but they never told Red to stop either. Does that sound like anybody you know? And they're not a color. Every time Red said something mean and no one spoke up, he got bigger and bigger and bigger. I think that's what they call your ego. He thought he was better than everybody else. Soon Red grew so big that everyone was afraid of him. No one dared to stop him. Red picked on all the colors. Then everyone felt a little blue. I wonder what Red's challenge was, that he had to pick on others, even if they're colors. Until One came. Pay attention to the letter O and E. He had a different shape, with bold strokes and square corners. He was funny. He made the colors laugh. Red saw this and got very hot. Stop laughing, he told Yellow. Stop laughing, he told Green. Stop laughing, he told Purple and Orange. And they did. Wow. So I guess they were afraid of Red. Red rolled up to One. Stop laughing, he told him. But One stood very straight and tall like an arrow and said, no. See, he even looks like an arrow, right? The way his shape is. Red was mad, but one wouldn't budge, so Red rolled away. You stand up to a bully and they back down. One turned to the colors and said, "If someone is mean and picks on me, I, for one, stand up and say no." Then Yellow felt brave and said, "Me too." Green agreed and said, "Me 3." Then Purple became 4 and Orange became 5. And Blue saw the colors change and he wanted to count. Red grew red hot. He felt left out. He felt hotter and hotter and hotter. Yeah, sometimes it's hard when you're not being nice to other people and then they leave you out. Red raced over to Blue and said what he always did. Red is hot and Blue is not. But this time, Blue stood up tall and became 6. Red can be really hot, he said. Blue can be super cool. Red blew a fuse and tried to roll over top of Blue. But everybody took a stand and said no. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Seeing them stand tall made Red feel very, very, very small. Then Red turned even redder and began rolling away. Blue called out, "Can Red be hot and Blue be cool?" Red stopped in his tracks. "Red can count too," said one. Red rocked and rolled and turned into 7. "Everybody counts," they shouted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then Red laughed and joined the fun. Sometimes it takes just one. The end. So, as I come back over here, we learned something a little bit about people that aren't very nice or think they're more important than someone else. And they tend to get bigger and blusterier the more you stand up to them and tell them, "No, that's not true for me." Could be true for other people, and that's their responsibility for deciding how they're going to stand up and say no. But we can always be there to support them in that and stand behind them and say no also. That's another way to make changes. And making changes helps make us stronger, wiser, and people that help make change happen. And change does happen. So I thought it would be kind of fun to do a painting today with this basic idea in mind. And then it might remind us if you do the painting or picture that's very much like this, however that happens to be creative in your mind, and be able to take those ideas, and they're very simple ideas, because sometimes when someone's being unkind or mean, then they feel, like I said, they feel stronger. But the more people that stand and say no to that person, that that's not their truth, and decide that this isn't someone they want to involve in the group of people that they're participating with, the one that's mean or not very nice feels left out. Then he just gets madder and stomps away. And luckily, Blue said, "Isn't Red hot? And Blue is cool." And it gave him just 2 seconds to think about, wow, that's true. I would like to play too. So there's one way that's called a solution of how we can solve that challenge when someone behaves that way. But we always have to remember, if someone behaves that way and they don't seem to be letting down, it's time to get an adult to help you out. So always remember that part. All right, so we're going to take the idea, and I'm going to show you what I thought would be kind of fun. So this is my idea, is I went ahead and I have a paint palette, not palette, but a painting board, and I put the letter 1 right there. And I made little lines, which counted up to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 spaces. I also have a heart over here, but we're going to talk about that at the end, all right? So what I decided to do was to go ahead and remind myself of what the colors were. We know the color, but they all had a special talent or a special way of being. Sunny was bright, and yellow was bright and sunny, and blue was cool. We read those. So we're going to go ahead and do this. And I wanted to make a representation of when we add all these colors together, it becomes a rainbow. It's more colors than in a standard old rainbow that you see in the sky, but all the colors come together and they do create one. We're all in this together. We're all here. And we're all participating as one. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So I have my colors and they're kind of spilling into each other, but I suppose that's perfectly all right. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to, I'll do the number first and then I'll show you what I'm going to do with the outside area too. So we're going to start with, I'm going to do red as last because that was the biggest challenge, that he was causing challenges for everybody. So I'm going to paint this. Well, that looks pink. My goodness, I have to put more on than that. This red looks pink. So we're going to add a little bit more red. There we go. That's a little better. I'll add a little more when I get to the end, putting all the colors in. So this is red. Doesn't have to be in the sequence that we read in the story, because that's the story. And that was the author's idea of those colors. So we're going to do it just a little, at least I am. And if you're doing this at the same time, you can make it however you want. So we're going to just kind of put red right there. And wipe the brush off, get the colors out. And then I think next I'll do purple. I like purple. Purple is one of my favorite colors. So I'm going to do purple. So put purple in. These colors are light. I think these are poster paint colors. That's why they're light. So we're going to fill in the next square. Now, as I'm doing this, and if you're doing something similar to this, you don't have to have the colors in the same sequence that mine is. That's part of your job, part of using your creativity. No one is here to tell you no, that you can't do that. Okay? So we're going to put that there. So there's that one. So I'm going to clean my brush again. And next, I think I'm going to do orange. We'll talk about their color meanings in just a few minutes. So there's orange. I'm going to do orange here. Well, these are pretty pastel colors. But if I want these darker, I can wait till they dry and then put another coat on, if I want to do that. That's just up to me, whatever I'd like to do. Give them texture by bouncing the brush around. Okay, so there's the orange. Now, I'm going to use, I think, green. So here's the green. Now, the green's a different kind of paint, so it's a lot thicker, because I couldn't find my green poster paint. So I used an oil paint, so it's a lot brighter. But it takes a little tiny bit longer to dry, which is why I chose poster paint. But you get the main idea of what this is about. Okay, and then I need yellow. So I'm going to do yellow. This one. If I get it too close to the green, we'll have yellow-green. So there's yellow. I think you guys can see that okay. There's yellow. And then we have blue. Now that's 6 colors. we didn't have a specific color for one, a gray. But I thought might be interesting, so we're going to try something here. We're going to do the blue. Again, this is whatever that you're working on, however you want yours to look. So we have kind of a surprise color at the end, okay? So I'm going to take a little bit of each color, and I'm going to make the top of the one a little bit of each one. So I'm going to put blue, wipe that off, and then I'm going to do yellow, put that there, and then I'm going to use orange and put orange in there, and then green. Of course, green's really dominant because it's a thicker kind of paint. So we'll use a little bit of those. And purple. Kind of getting a little interesting color, huh? May have to put some other colors on top of that green because it's looking pretty green. But it's definitely a different color green. So, and then we'll add a little tiny bit of red. Yeah, I got the orange in there. So a little tiny bit of red here on the edges. So after that dries for a few minutes, then we can add the others. So I think we'll put a little more blue on top. Yeah, you can kind of see the blue a little better. And a little bit of yellow. There we go. We'll just kind of leave it like that. But that's kind of all the colors mixed together. It's not really a color. I guess if we mixed it really good together, it'd be the gray. So there's our, the number. So we have each of the colors. And I have the heart over here. And I'm going to do that one in, let's do it in, you know what? Instead of our traditional red that we'd always think about doing a heart in red, I think I'm going to do it in yellow because yellow is such a bright and loving color and welcoming. It's a welcome color, I think. So I'm going to do the heart yellow because we're going to put something there when we're finished. But we're going to do yellow for the heart. Yours can be any color you want. It could be purple or orange, whatever you like the best, okay? So we're going to do the heart in yellow, just like that. Okay, now we're going to let that sit for just a couple minutes, and I'm going to get out a pen. Sorry for making the noise, but I need to open up my pen box. That's over here. You can't see it. You probably can't see me right this second, but I need to get my other pen out, and I think I'm going to use this color. Okay. Needed a pen. All right, so I got that much done, so I'm going to move this out of the way. Now I have these sponge blocks. I don't know if you've ever done sponge painting, but it's really kind of fun. So we're going to do some sponge painting to add to our picture. We're going to do each one of the colors. So I just dip the sponge in the water, and just to get it wet. And I'm going to start out with blue. Just like that. And if it's a little thick, we can make circles. And I'm going to dab here till I kind of get a little bit of a circle. So there's the blue. Yeah, a little bit more color. So there's our blue. Remember, blue is cool. Okay, so there's blue. And now the next one I'm going to add is, and it doesn't have to be the same sequence that I had down there at the bottom, is I had orange. So I'm going to dip the orange in there. If it's a little too much, you can always brush it off on the edge of the plate. Use a paper plate when you're using your paints. So I'm going to do orange here. Same idea. I just want it to be a little circle of orange. Add a little bit more color. So there's the orange. And the neat thing about sponges is when you're all done with them, you just put them in a bowl of soapy water and wash out the paint. And you can use them another time. They make great if you want to make bricks, they make great bricks. So if you wanted to do that with sponges. Sponges are fun to play with. They're fun to use as a painting tool. Okay, now we're going to do yellow. And we're going to put yellow over here. Let's put yellow in a couple of places like this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want us to remember what those were about. And that each one of those colors, of course, acting as part of the story, they had their own personality. And they tended in the first part of the book was to follow each other and not make a decision or make up their mind about something until one came along to show them that they had the potential of doing that, of standing up and having a different answer or a different response to a situation. Okay, there's our green. Okay, you can do all kinds of fun stuff with these. Okay, so there's the green. And the next one is, what one have I forgotten? Purple. I don't have purple on here. Okay, there's our purple. Well, it's not going to do purple. I'm going to do red, seeing that I put it in the red. Okay, so we'll do red over here. Like I said, it looks like pink because it's light. But it's not. It's red. The more we layer it, maybe we'll get more of a red color. Certainly not a very hot color looking, is it? But that's the kind of paint it is, poster paint. So there's red. There. And then, now we can do purple. So by having the individual colors on the outside and then putting them together in the one, draws all those colors together. And we'll do purple down here. But they're still separate. They're still individual. They're not always together because not everybody has the same feelings about one thing or another. Everybody has different feelings. Okay, so there's our purple. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is the 1. All right? So now I wanted to take the idea of the colors, and I wrote those down so I remembered to have them. Okay, so green is bright. So I'm going to use a pen, and you can use a crayon marker, but you don't have to write it all if you don't want to. So I'm going to write here is green because is bright. And here down here, this one is red is hot. And what was purple? Purple was regal. Okay, purple is regal. Okay, and yellow is sunny. And there's yellow is sunny. And then blue, what was blue? Blue is cool. Doesn't matter whether you write upside down or not. It doesn't matter for the picture. Blue is cool. And then what was orange? Remember what orange was? Orange was outgoing. Orange. Can you see yourself in any of these colors? Outgoing. Orange is outgoing. And red is hot. So we have all the definitions of what the colors represent in the story. They can represent anything in how you see your colors and how you like to use them. So now, the yellow is still a little bit wet to write anything in. So I'm going to write it on the side of the heart, in between the 1 and the heart. And what this does, it brings this whole picture and all of these separate colors together as one. Because even though we may have red hair, brown hair, yellow hair, blonde, yellow, that's what they call that, black hair. Hair comes in all kinds of different colors. So do our eyes. They come in different colors. But it doesn't make us separate. We're all still one. We all came from the same place, and we all are made of the same stuff. So the ways in which we appear to be different is kind of what we look like. And that kind of tells us apart and gives us our individuality and makes us very special, because there's not anyone else walking on the planet that's just like you. You may have a twin. They have identical twins, kids that were born at the same time. They look just like each other, same hair color, same eye color, same features, but their ideas, their characteristics, the things that they love to do are their own. They don't necessarily match their twin, so they're totally different. So they're also individuals, but sometimes you can't tell them apart. I have two great nephews. They're in their 20s now, and when they were little, they were really hard to tell apart unless they were with each other. We were always calling them the wrong names. All right, so let's go ahead and write. I'm going to turn it this way, less chance getting paint on myself. Okay, along the one, to remind between the one and this and the heart is everyone, no matter how tall you are, how short you are, what color your hair is, your eye is, your skin color is, we're all one, and everyone counts. Everybody counts, no matter what. So now you see from the story is that when Blue said she wants to count 2, we all count. She was talking about being part of the circle of wanting to see if they could help Red not be so hot and mean to the other colors, and to find he was just as important as everybody else, and everybody else was just as important as him. So we have everybody counts, and I wanted to write that in the heart, but it's too wet still, so we don't want to do that. So we have gone through the book and played with the colors, and this is the picture that I came up with. So your picture can be totally different. It doesn't matter if you want to use paints or markers, which we talked about, but it might be something that would be fun to do, and it might be fun just to have your whole family sit down and do something like this and see what they come up with, as far as how they would have that idea of seven different things being one, and how that would look. That would be kind of fun and interesting. So here is our picture. I'm going to let it dry, and that's something that I'll hang in my sewing room, because that's where I put all my fun arts and crafts stuff that I make, and I'll hang that in there, and that will remind me about the book. I love the book. Of course, the book is called One. So I'd like to invite you this coming week, or when I see you again, that you're able to spend your time discovering who you are, how you'd like to be part of everyone else, not being everyone else, just be part of it, and know that there's that personal originality in you that's not in anybody else, and honor that, and honor the originality in other people too. We don't all have to be the same, but we're all the same because we all have the same thing inside. So enjoy your week, have a great week, and look forward to seeing you the next time. Thank you. Bye.